So, State of Play was announced. That's happening on Thursday. What remasters do you think are going to get announced this time? God of War 2018 remastered? Uncharted 4 remastered? You know they're thinking about it. Naughty Dog has to pay the bill somehow, and it's a little too early to do Last of Us Part 1 remastered. I mean, something has to fund the multiplayer game? Question mark? Hey, remember when Naughty Dog canceled The Last of Us Factions because they didn't want to commit to a live service multiplayer game? So they flushed like 4 years of development down the toilet because they didn't want to commit to a live service game? Well, they're hiring for a live service game now. AAA gaming genuinely is just one giant money laundering scheme. You fucking cannot convince me otherwise. But with the State of Play announcement, I thought it'd be kind of fun to go back and look at this batch of screenshots I took from a Twitter thread a couple months ago, but then just kept forgetting to make the video on it because I kept getting distracted by pictures of cheese. So on Christmas, Rhino the Bouncer tweeted out, "Say something about this game," and a picture of Astrobot. And then the gaming dude quote tweets it and says it's hilarious how the best PS5 game is really inevitably its only game. Hardy har, lullity lull, memety meme, PS5 has no games. And extra irony here because Astrobot is almost certainly coming to PC if these statements from the developers are anything to go off of. But then this is where things get kind of funny. The gaming dude gets quote tweeted by none other than Tripster, who says, "Meanwhile, PlayStation," with a big list of all the first-party PlayStation releases of the PS5 generation. And I'm going to put this on screen for you to look at for a second. Something should be made rather clear right away, and I quote tweeted him with what should be clear. I said, quote, "Over 25% of the games here are remakes or remasters. Another 16% is just MLB The Show." And I actually miscounted. It's actually more than 16% is MLB The Show. This is why the PS5 has no games meme is a meme. This image right here that was meant to be a big display of how many awesome games the PS5 has is really just the big problem with the PS5, which is what makes this so funny. I'd also like to point out that down here in this post that's supposed to brag about the fact that PS5 does have games, there's 3 games here that are not out yet. And also Concord 3 is down here. So like, yeah, man, you really stuck it to them. They said PlayStation has no games, and you responded with a graphic of a bunch of remakes, remasters, MLB The Show, and also some games that aren't out yet. Good job, Tripster. You're doing a phenomenal job at proving the PS5 has no fucking games. But anyways, this quote tweet of mine made a lot of people upset, which I guess is to be expected. I mean, it's PlayStation fans in the current year. How dare you criticize the fact that they keep shoving pointless remasters at you instead of giving you new games? I mean, did you see that new gameplay footage from MLB The Show 26? Did you see that? Man, Sony's just bringing their A game with all their first-party games. My goodness, this just looks so real. Has baseball season started already? Am I watching TV? Anyways, in the spirit of State of Play Week, I want to read through some of the responses that I got to this thread. And then I can finally delete the folder of screenshots and I can stop having the constant reminder that I meant to make this video like a month and a half ago and just kept fucking forgetting. But it's topical now. Yay, it was all on purpose. Fucking like and subscribe because it was all on purpose. Wukong from Texas responds to me and says, "Still better than Xbox library," which is funny because the Xbox library is almost hilariously bigger than this if we're just talking about like games that actually fucking come out and are under the Xbox umbrella. The Xbox library is way bigger than the PlayStation library. Also, if you just want to talk about playable games on the Xbox versus number of playable games on the PlayStation, again, the Xbox is a much bigger library. But I'd also like to point out that no one was fucking talking about Xbox here. Like, are PlayStation dudes not capable of defending the PlayStation without bringing up Xbox? No one was talking about Xbox. All I did was point out that a giant chunk of the first-party releases this generation have been remakes, remasters, and MLB The Show. And you're like, yeah, well, what about Xbox? Bitch, what about Xbox? No one was talking about that. And here's the thing, this isn't even a counter, because even if I agreed with you, even if I said, yes, you're right, this is better than the Xbox library, it's still ass. That just means you have 2 ass libraries instead of 1. Like, hey, this first party game lineup kinda sucks ass. Well, it doesn't suck as much ass as that one over there. Great, the first one still sucks ass. How is that a point? But then just chirp in response to that. Homeless man calling another homeless man a broke. Doofy responds to me and says, lol, really trying my hardest to figure out where that matters. Yeah, no, guys, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. PlayStation has completely destroyed most of the appeal of its console and its ecosystem, all in the name of hoisting up its first-party exclusives. You gotta deal with how anti-consumer and overpriced Sony is because their first-party library is just that fucking worth it. And then their first-party library is just games you've played before. It's just the same baseball game over and over again. It's just a bunch of games that aren't even out yet and aren't even guaranteed to come out this generation. And you can't figure out why that matters to point out? You can't rub two brain cells together and get to the bottom of that one? Sony jacks up the prices of their consoles. They jack up the price of paying to play your own games online, which you shouldn't have to do in the first place. They still have dog shit security. They still have subpar benchmarks for game performance. And they are putting so much fucking money into games that nobody wants and nobody asked for, while the IP that people do want to come back, and the remakes and remasters that people actually want, those are completely ignored in favor of shit like Last of Us 2 remastered, Days Gone remastered. Sony has been spitting in your face this entire console gen, and it's all been done in the name of hoisting up their first-party games. And then this is the first-party game lineup you get in return for their behavior, and you can't figure out why this matters. Holy shit. Just keep on buying the slop. Just keep on buying it. Oh my god. PlayStation dudes are really giving Nintendo dudes a run for their money in terms of being like the most complacent audience in the gaming sphere. Utsav Pradin says PC doesn't put food on their table, PlayStation does, lol, isn't it, Seattle guy? What? Is the point you're making that there's not like PC ports? Like it's like the Xbox kind. Nobody was talking about PC, and even if we were talking about PC, I don't even know what fucking point you're trying to make. Are we trying to argue that PlayStation doesn't make as much money on PC as they do PlayStation? Because I mean, no one was talking about that. But also, Sony is bending over backwards to get their shit on the PC because they make an ass load of money on the PC. Like, what even is this point? What even is this point? Why am I wasting my time? Escapism and Choice Advocate, oh boy, love this guy, says, and with mere remakes and remasters, it's the Electronic Home Appliances Corp that humiliated a $4 trillion and IT at video games so much that said $4 trillion company had no choice but to whore out their whole catalog of first-party brand-defining IPs to it. Ain't that a poodle?
I think you might be dyslexic, bro. I'm not reading this. I'm gonna...
No, please, read it.
I think you might be dyslexic.
Read the script once.
Okay, you want me to read the script?
Yes.
All right.
And action.
I'll read the words you wrote. Hello, fellow American. This you should vote. Me. I leave power. Good. Thank you. Thank you.
It's just nonsense. Which also, your name is Escapism and Choice Advocate, and you're a Sony shill. You're a Sony shill who has Escapism and Choice Advocate as their username. Bro, can we look in the mirror? Like, I don't get how this is even a point. Like, yeah, well, so Microsoft, for which, again, no one was fucking talking about Microsoft, but also you're like, yeah, well, first party lineup sucks, but I mean, Microsoft's putting games on other platforms. Sony's putting games on other platforms. What are you talking about? If it's a point of mockery that a company is putting their games on other platforms, okay, then let's make fun of Sony now, but it's different when Sony does it. It's different when Sony does it. Escapism and Choice Advocate, by the way, two corporations doing the exact same thing, but it's funny when one of them does it, and when the other one does it, it's okay. But also Escapism and Choice Advocate. And like, again, you're another fuckwit who's missing the point. I say the game library sucks. You're like, oh yeah, well, Microsoft. It's like, okay, the game library still sucks. Like, you guys aren't even trying to argue the points anymore. You didn't have to enter this conversation if you had nothing to say. Bradley Alexander Fisher says, I refuse to let anyone enjoy gaming type of post. What an asshat. Yeah, you heard it here. I'm an asshat because I pointed out the percentage of Sony's first party lineup that's remakes and remasters. I refuse to let people enjoy gaming. You know, if it's such a controversial thing to acknowledge that this is happening, maybe the problem is that it's happening. Like, have you ever thought of that? If it's really such a point of tension and such a point of I'm upset now, to just like acknowledge that this is happening. I might not be the problem. The problem might be that the thing is happening. OT says in all caps, okay, so 59% are new games / sequels. Trying to comprehend the meaning of this post. Is this supposed to be a shot at Sony, PlayStation, and the PlayStation community? If so, you just made yourself look super stupid and dumb. I swear the X-Flop community is the dumbest community in the universe. Oh boy. Okay. Wow. I'm trying to come up with a joke, but I think I should just leave this on screen. I'm just gonna leave this on screen. You stumped me. Congratulations, you stumped me. I can't think of anything to say here. I don't know how I can make this funnier than just leaving it here. I guess that's where we're going to end. Be sure to let me know in the comments what you think is going to be announced at State of Play. My money is on God of War Remastered. Like, I'm not even kidding. I kind of think they're going to announce that. It seems to be the next logical step. And good lord. What are we even doing here, guys? I took those screenshots like a month and a half ago. I forgot how painful they were. Oh fuck. Okay. Dude, let's just do the Doofus Club. Holy shit. Hyperactive Turtle Cards Game of Deadpool Nate Grimsey Official Dregs. Why can't we murder the fantards? Eat their face bones. Guess who got his motorcycle license? The Gamer 127 YT Game Blast 1314 Mio Setsuna Biscuit 1101 West of Rex Hentai 06 Slick Flick Click Flicks a Blu-ray discs Delta 169 Baron von Vodahan Floppy Fingers 97 Unicorn Rocco Goji Fan 2005 Villa 3 on Char AI is Sloth Amazing Microsoft Kishka Doug Nixie Smile Dirty making the boys Vaz Dennis stole my 9 dozen eggs Joe get 'em Max Covey 2 Gaming. It's a hard knock to life. One man savage, nice dude, no pav. I am majestic space duck. I bless you with quack. It's funny because it's like crack. Vector, Vendetta, Archer, Mechanical Resident, Sick, Nick, Mad Fox 94, Exchange, Induction, Bear, Brain, Stick, Rider, Broken Crown, Pop Rock for the backing. Jake, Spider Monkey 994, hashtag Big Sticks. I took away, just took an epic Tim and wiped my Sweeney. Vast Dennis, Musky, Big Bush, Thrash the 5, but Odd Club of Hanging, Jojo 6, Molt Theme, Really Zord, Oracle, Jimmy Chops, Master Killers, Fire, Tom Snorlax, and Unknown 8718. People dying on the High Guard Hill are the High Guard. My Shadow Bear 789. Benefon New Teaching Ranks Nerd on Vala, High Partial Main 8, Vox Auto Car, Say Guys 327, MK2396, EX Machina, Fire has more 5, Tech Image, Sling, Jim, Lord Bowser II, Joe Laughs Knows the Moat, Gay Local Adult, with Autism, PC Gamer, Jessica Shepard, Ricky Barbara, Dabby Xylophone, Doofus North County, Korea the Steel Angel, Dripster is coping over Final Fantasy 7 on Switch to Limphao. Is he really? I didn't see that. Fuck. Cyber671, 2 Tex 940. Joey got the Steam Deck back the other day. Creed Word 23, Max Totally insane. Joe, explain why Gara is pregnant. You dirty whore. Knight of Cypher, ML04, Wolf of Midnight, EKW, Sequin Studios, Pillow Kraken, Gaming, Drake Brown, Thornsgate, Magneck, Severn Evans, Mrs. Brown 03, Skyline for Gwyworks, Pow Pow, Donnie Westing, Dob Gotson, Rogue Wizard 19, Zach Thane, Hang Made for Hire, Ellen Noble, Frost Control by Genesis, Manga Keys, Covey's Go Go, So Ryusagi, Represent, Honor 94, Blue Hook, When in Doubt, Face the Wind, Wank It Out, Mr. Techno Squeak, Jody Pitties, Mega Win Gentleman, Jensen, Make Advertisement, WC, Begins, I American Idiot, Hammer Sets Other Chin, Ono Justin, Red Green, 2 Winks, Level 7, Retro Westside JMM SG, Veg, Groove, Nana, Kern, Non-Specs, All Heaven, There's No Tooth Fairy, that's it, get the tutu. There is a Tooth Fairy, and it's Dwayne Johnson. How many of you guys watched that movie, The Tooth Fairy, with Dwayne Johnson? Unironically, a good movie. Dwayne Johnson had a bunch of random like family movies when I was growing up, and the weird part is most of them are actually pretty good. Yeah. Do you guys remember? Also, do you remember? What was the fucking Dwayne Johnson gorilla movie? Like a giant mutated gorilla, Rampage, that's what it's called, Rampage. A giant mutated gorilla. I'll find that clip and I'll put it on screen. Or I won't. Maybe it'll be funnier if I just leave you to think about that. That's funnier actually. Okay, toodles.